Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello.
What's going on?
Um, Talk about it.
Talk about what?
You're American, right?
Not by choice.
But you are American.
Not by choice, yeah.
You're Hispanic, right? So you live in America.
Mm-hmm. I
But
mean, I
but
don't yes.
yeah. So
I don't have the choice to live here. It costs a lot of money to move out of America. I was born here. I mean, it's like asking me to like, oh, you're an American, so you're automatically bad is kind of like I don't know. I don't get it. I don't have a like I know that all the pedophile stuff is like how am I supposed to do anything about that? I didn't
right.
vote. Hmm?
So so I am curious though. Like, what is your faith, if you have any?
Oh, I'm agnostic, so
All right. You have noticed the cults, right?
like the people who surround you and like mess with you,
Uh,
huh?
You have noticed that, right? That there is a cult.
Yeah, I've noticed people do that, like they mess with you, if that's what you refer to as a cult.
Yeah, it is because it's dehumanization. I told people to stop, right, and that I want to call the police, but they're hitting their names, right? So they're technically doing crimes against me.
Oh,
Pretty clear. It's pretty clear that I don't want to talk with them.
I see.
Like I don't know. Like I don't know if I haven't made it clear to Americans that I have a problem with this.
Well, I don't. Maybe they just don't care.
Right. So they're evil.
I guess.
Right. So it's a problem that I speak up about. That there's evil inside America. I don't understand why. How many times should I say the same word? Evil exists. Evil should not exist. Right? It's like I'm the good person. I keep saying the same thing. Well, and I can't fix the world. People don't give a shit, and nothing is fixed. It's just petition of the same, and I don't want to live other people's pain. Right? You can see why should I do that? I'm forced to live other people's pain because they don't treat me right. I explain where that's right. There's the 10 years of same repetition of people not treating me right, and I ask them, leave me alone, give me peace, fuck off. I don't want to talk with you. I hate America. Whatever it is, they just can't get enough, and I don't like people.
I see.
They're evil.
Yeah.
Right? I need to have a life. I need to have a life. That's number one priority. America needs to treat me right because it's not right. That's it. That's the end. It's not right. And it should be changed because it's not right. And I can't trust people. And I shouldn't be treated that way by nobody, especially not America.
Yeah.
No human should, no God should. The fact that I am God and people still piss on me, it makes it worse, don't you think? Don't you think that it's worse that people chase people to heaven only to keep bothering them in the garden where they just want peace? Right? I don't have a life. I don't have no friends, right? I don't have nothing. I don't talk with nobody. Right? There's not enough of these fucking retards. Incels, demons, huh?
Well,
Huh?
you're talking to me.
Right, but it's not over. Not done. You live in a shithole country, right? You live in it. These are your countrymen. These are your evil countrymen. You fucking sack of shit.
How am I supposed
You
to do
understand?
anything?
I don't care. Figure it out. It's
How
everybody's problem.
if
Tell them. Talk to them. These are your countrymen,
I don't know
motherfucker.
I don't know where these people live.
Okay, they live in America. It's your culture. It's your fucking people. You understand? Do you understand?
Yeah, I
It's your people.
understand.
It's not my country. Try and get that into your skull, you fucking cat.
I didn't even do anything to you, man.
I'm a foreigner. You understand that?
Say that
You
again?
understand that? I'm a foreigner in your
Yes.
country. You understand that? Right? And how do you treat foreigners? How do you treat foreign kings?
Oh, I treat them pretty well, but other people don't.
Right, right. Would you say that's a mistake? Or would you say that's fine?
I would say it's probably a mistake.
Yeah. But how is America's image, and do they deserve the image that they get?
How is it? And do they deserve it?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I think their image is probably not good right now.
yeah. And do they deserve it?
Um, yeah, they probably do.
Right. And what do Americans do about it?
There's not much we can really do about it.
You can't.
What can we do?
Dehumanization. Go tell your countrymen, stop being evil. Go tell them, don't fucking do that to foreigners. Don't do that to anyone.
What
No
if, what
one should be dehumanized. Stand up for something, anything. Stand
okay,
up for one thing in your life,
if
and that's
I
fine.
if I tell them that and they keep doing it, what do I do then?
Then you find more people and you call the police, right? And then you insist that there's something that shouldn't be going on there.
But what if
I can't call the police in America, right? So I can't get people apprehended in America.
I don't think the police would do anything with this though.
Right, so that's another problem, right? So people know exactly where to start because as soon as you run into a problem, you know it's a problem. Right? Does that make sense? So you can't maybe do something. I don't know, but it should be possible to do anything about it. It should be able to for people to stand up and say, "I don't want to be part of this. This is disgusting."
There's a
Because it's not over till it's over.
there is a lot of people who are like that towards Trump right now, but it's like it's nothing's happening.
Right, but people I think need to understand that it's not only Trump that there's a whatever culture is whatever these cults are, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunately not only the government. Apparently there's also people inside America that's just as rotten.
Well, of course. I don't. Again, there's yeah, America is a really big place, and there's so much reach one person has, and it's really
Right.
hard to even get people to come around you to do stuff in general.
That's fair. That's fair, and that's right, and that's the struggle, and I don't blame you for that. I don't
Mm.
blame you for that. I hope you understand why I'm frustrated and why America gets to get all the blame, every single drop of it.
Well, it's also Israel, but yeah.
Yeah. They yeah, yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They when special occasions, they'll, they also get it. So, but yeah, it's fucked up. It's bad. Epstein and babies really does something to people.
Yeah. I I don't. There's a lot of people who still have that on their mind. You know that, right?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
They don't talk about it in the media, but we know that the media is just kind of a surface thing, and so people underneath the hood are often a little bit different, and then they believe that, oh well, the media said so and so, so it's not so, but it's usually always slightly worse than that, you know.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty bad. No one even trusts the media here, Tim, except like
Yeah,
boomers.
well, it's understandable. I think it's a good thing we have a Tim Dooley because he does continue to say things truthfully. That's
Mm-hmm.
at least good, right? So the media can't. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's
Is that
pretty that's pretty good.
we know how it looks over the ocean. That's a blessing, even though Tim Dooley can be upset and angry. But being upset and angry means there's one entity that cares, right? That people be like angry. That's not good. It's not good to be angry. But when you can translate it, you say, well, what is anger? In this case, anger is because somebody is angry that it's not working, which means they care about that it should be right.
Yeah.
And that's probably healthy. But a lot of, and that's the thing. I'm obviously helping America with that because they're looking for that. They've given up on it. Not that they've given up per se. It's like a long struggle inside America. Does that make sense? Right? Like I can feel because underneath the hood, there's a long struggle where they're disenfranchised and can't really do much of anything. Um,
Yeah, that's true. I would say.
they're struggling with the same media I'm struggling with at the end of the day, and they're struggling with the same government, the same nonsense, the same police that's corrupt, and FBI and so on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, I mean, you probably know this, but I'm actually with America. I
It,
just don't know how to fix it.
yeah, I don't think a lot of people know how to fix it either.
Think of the whole Iran thing. That's just like a whole. I think they're gonna put 50,000 soldiers or something.
Yeah, I don't, who knows? I probably won't get enlisted, and who knows what will happen with that.
There are multiple sources though, so I don't know. But this is also even that is just part of media as well. So, but there are multiple sources that 50,000 troops are being drawn up now. You haven't been drawn up?
I won't. I have a heart condition, so I won't be drafted. So I'm lucky.
You're older, but you have a heart condition.
Yeah, I have a heart condition. It's a heart murmur, which means I have like a small hole in my heart.
That's cool. I probably have that too.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's like it doesn't affect anything. It just means that you're probably gonna need to get a heart replacement valve earlier than other people.
Heart replacement valve.
Yeah. They I think they use pig heart valves for it.
Of one of those pig hearts.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I don't know what will happen in what 30 plus years. Maybe we'll be able to clone stuff better. Maybe I'll just get a cloned heart valve later. If they were able to clone real people, what would happen if they cloned like Jesus, Potato?
Nothing much. People would probably realize that their Jesus isn't that special,
Hmm.
right? Because I don't know. I feel like Jesus has probably come back in many forms, some similar archetypes that then like Jesus.
Yeah.
And they should have honored that. That's another thing, is that if they had built a proper religion, they would have taken every prophet that came along and said, I think I'm a prophet, right? And then they would at least have said, interesting, right? And they would have taken all of these cases and added each angle for each thing, so that the everyone in the world have had a chance to build God, right? Does it make sense? Because that's only the way you can get a full picture of what God is, when everyone, I wouldn't say everyone writes a book, but everyone becomes part of the angling.
Mm-hmm. I
So
don't. Yeah.
in that sense, it wasted a lot of prophets and focused on one, which I get the idea of it, that you're like, okay, it's Jesus, because everything else is like, there's so much, but it also at the same time make it so structured that you don't really have other choices, and it just kind of becomes the choice. And notice how you don't have any, there's no like you're in a spiritual war if you're not on any of those trains, and it's like billions of people, and they all be like, well, Jesus my dad, and Jesus my this, and Jesus and this book, and you got a God, and so on, so on. And when you sit down and have a talk with them about it, they don't like the way that you believe in God, or this or that or that, and it turns out they can't actually get along, even though they all have the same book. But it's all because, why is that? Because they're like, what do you call this? They look to books, and then it's like, well, it has to be exactly this or that. So they look to books to something dead, but they forgot the living divinity that's flowing all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like if we did that, maybe we would get another situation where it was like that Chinese guy who claimed to be like Jesus's brother and he got a bunch of people killed.
Yeah, of course, of course. It's not like we are looking at the next perfect prophet each time. What we're looking at, right, is that it's been expressed in many forms, and sometimes you can say it's good and bad, and that's not important either. What is important is that you gather information, right? And you say, okay, well, that's interesting. Okay. And then you say, okay, well, that's interesting. So really what you're looking at is just interesting things. And then over time, you amalgamate the most interesting things, right? And you say, oh, this prophet was a little bit of a fluke. Maybe this prophet was, oh, this was a good one. He had a lot of nice things to say. And then you begin over time to amalgamate it that way, so that it never really dies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's what already happened kind of with current religions.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, they just 1,000 years ago, the Odin and Christmas is all of this kind of got incorporated into it. But there are signs of this. But I think even that people also forgot in some ways. They can't look to things now. They still can't look to things now and be like, huh, that's cool. Huh, that's nice. That's, I don't know how to feel about that, but it almost feel like the world has been spent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of having a world when all the heroes have already been like, oh, you got to be like this, oh, you got to follow that recipe, It's like, well, can I do anything on my own? No, you can't. So, but I run into the same thing, right? So if I give people a potato, then they won't grow a potato. Why? They want to do their own thing in a dead world that doesn't, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody probably wants, you know, is very selfish, and that's okay to understand. So how to reconcile all prophets and people who died and lived and resurrected again?
I know, I'm not too sure. I mean, another thing with that is like, well, What if like someone from the cult who hates you, like they become a prophet and then their stuff takes off? Well, like what happens then? And it's like it's seen as good for them.
That is extremely bad.
Well, I mean, that's a possibility, isn't it?
Uh, yeah, it is, but that would be a sign that the Antichrist is there.
Hmm.
But if I've been wronged all my life, and then the people that are wrong, they go to the top in order to parade more problems that I've already pointed out. I say, look, that's the problem. If people can plaster problems on top of solutions and then get to the top for being the problems, you can see a bit of a problem in that, right?
Yeah.
So what would that do if we live in a world like that?
It'd probably make things worse.
Right, right. It wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, okay, you win and I lose. It'd actually be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably why we see. Well, I don't know what we see. Tell me, right? They get success, and I just sit here and wait because it's another problem plaster on this solution.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't
You
know.
know, you don't think there's like physical actions you can ever take?
Yeah, of course. Over time, the story becomes more powerful simply by doing nothing, right? And there's always steps I take. Um, so, but that in itself is also fighting against them, right? And that is very futile, right? So there's no need for, there's no reason for me to fight against these. You can see that as well, right? Like, why would I fight them? Because that would put me in a perpetual war. The I would perpetually always have won until they give up and on.
I see. I mean, like, you could always like go out and spread your word. I don't think Americans can follow you It's it Denmark you live in?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think
that,
Americans are gonna follow you to Denmark, and I think if they do, then they would get in trouble since they're in your home country trying to mess with you. So I mean,
I know that they can't really do that. That's not the problem though, because the problem is a lot of the unresolved karma, right? One thing is I wasted 10 years of my life and I have gotten nothing from it,
yeah.
right? So going home and turning around is one thing, but I don't want to go home and turn around.
Oh, I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying like you can go out around like your
Right,
area
right. Yeah,
and
yeah,
spread
yeah,
the word.
absolutely. Like my life is free. I'm retired forever. Like everything opens up for me. Let's put it that way. But unfortunately, the one thing that I wanted to open up, which is America, hasn't opened up.
I see. I don't know. Maybe you just gotta spend more time in your home country opening that up first. Maybe that hasn't opened up enough yet.
I don't have any friends because America's run my life. So this I need this problem to go away before my life can continue. That's why I sit here every day,
Mm-hmm.
basically negotiating with the devil, with America, right? And saying, I want my soul back. When can I have my soul back? I said it's kind of what all I want every single day is just to have my life back.
I get that. I just, I don't know. It's just
I
like to me, it's like
want to live a normal life, dude. I just wanted peace. I never wanted any of these things.
I get that. It's to me, it's like, sometimes it's like, that you can always go talk to your neighbors about this stuff too, or like at least introduce them to this idea. Have you ever done that? Of like introducing them to like potatoism and stuff.
Talk with people about it. They find it.
Say that again.
Find it interesting.
They find it interesting, or they don't find it interesting. I don't know, like maybe you could like set up like a little booth outside your place and like, hey, change my like what's that guy's like the change my mind
Sure,
guy. You can do that.
sure.
Sure.
But
Mhm.
I'm not an entertainer. I'm not here to entertain. I'm here because I want my life back. I'm not here to argue with people. I'm not there to make a case for anything. I just want my life back.
I
I
see.
want my money. I want my bag. I want my repatriation. You understand?
Repatriation.
Repatriation means, right?
Say that again.
Repatriation.
I think that means
If you're a soldier, you would know what a repatriation means.
I have to look it up. I haven't heard the word in a long time.
Okay, well, think of the word patriotism.
Yeah.
You know what the word patriotism means? What does the patriotism means?
It's oh, okay, you want compensation for an abuse or injury.
Exactly.
Okay. But
I
patriotism,
don't want anything else, dude. I just want my money, my bag, and my retirement. And I want America to treat me like a king. I want every single American to look up to me. Like, make sure they bend their neck when they look up to me.
I see. But how are you gonna do that?
By them acknowledging that they owe me debt. And saying it every day
Until what?
until the debt is worked on, until they realize that they have a debt with me, until they realize that my anger subside, until America has fixed their debt.
I see. Well, like, you don't have any like. What if that never happens though? You said
Then
it's
every day I'm gonna badmouth America and Americans and what they're creating until it doesn't exist anymore, until it does not exist anymore.
I see.
Free speech, right? My opinion is that America should not exist, and neither should Israel. And until I get my repatriation, and you understand, I care about America, right?
Yeah, I
So
get.
it's not that I don't want these things to burn. What I really want is just repatriation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How would you? So I don't know. Some people feel like when they're sovereign, right? If they got burned by a country, if they got fucked up by a government. No, I don't know. Some people can relate to that. A lot of people can relate to that.
Well, being sovereign is something else. You have to be like a Native American to be like sovereign.
Sovereign. I'm a sovereign American.
You're a sovereign
There are,
American.
yeah, I know it's crazy, but I am a sovereign citizen in America. I'm a sovereign outside of America. But
Mm,
I've been seated inside America. I'm so much in America that I've become a sovereign inside America,
I
living
see.
outside the matrix.
Are you gonna are you gonna put like a thing on your license plate saying you're a sovereign in America?
I'm not one of those. I'm not. Nah.
I see. You're sovereign more in like the Native American sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay.
think so. Yeah. It's like this is my land. You will respect my land.
Mm-hmm.
Peace pipe now. You take this. This good shit. Serious. I told you. Peace.
Yeah.
Good shit.
What part of land would you say is yours then in like America? Or
Oh, that's an interesting question. worse than America. I mean, culturally, there's nothing worse than America except for Israel. But there are countries that are much poorer that are doing very bad and just have no purchasing power. So there's plenty of countries that are like kind of shittier. Right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Thailand. There's lots of countries with lots of violence inside of it, and gang wars and gang crimes, and that's really bad. Right?
Yeah.
Of America as well, other places, these countries are bigger shitholes than America, right? Just by because you don't want that, right? That's terrible. The countries with massive inflation and so on, so on, so on. You can mention plenty of countries that just not very good, but they don't have a lot to say, right? It's like it's there, you know. To be poor is not something that Tim Dooley can go forward and say, "I condemn you to be poor." Right? It's like that. That's not something I judge countries over. So therefore, they kind of get an easy pass in a way, right? I don't judge people for being bum dogs as long as they stay in the slum. Then, but I do judge dogs for walking out of the slum and telling me that I should be in the slum.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I think I do.
But yeah, you never hear me talk about those countries, right? So it is interesting since you asked me, you know, other places that are worse than America. Yeah.
Well, also I'm curious, like what land would you say is yours in America too? I think you have
Thanks for the question.
like I mean part of being sovereign is kind of like oh your land was taken from you, like that's why the Native
Right,
Americans are sovereign.
right. I do believe that Idaho is America.
Say that again?
It
Idaho's
was.
your?
I do believe Idaho is my homeland, or my home territory of America, or my spawning point.
Mm, I
I
see.
think that should be it. You know, and I think I should come from the north, like just kind of walk over the border of Canada in a mythical sense. That could be a good origin story, you know. And he was like kind of like Muhammad, but not like Muhammad. It shouldn't be told like that, you know. But he was rejected. He went to Idaho, and they were like, "Ah, we have potatoes. We was rejected a couple of times. Then eventually they accepted him. They're like, okay, you know what? We haven't tried this potato before, but
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of the story.
Yeah. I mean, but
Actually,
yeah,
no, go ahead.
but it's like you. The thing with that is like you have to actually go there to for it to be like a real myth, or not a myth, but like legend.
That's true, but I did go to Discords, right? So in that sense, I walked there. I walked
Mm,
to different homes, so I consider that my pilgrimage.
I
But
see.
but several things happened, and so I'd like to make all of America my home, obviously. But some things happen, and I think that could be written into lore. Well, not written into lore, but perhaps remembered. Right, that there was this Idaho place. I was kicked out of it because there was LGBT. They didn't like that I offended them about everything. I
Mm,
didn't, you know, they're not used to a potato that's different than what their culture is.
yeah.
Often,
When was the last time you wrote more stuff in your book of life?
probably a month ago or something.
Oh, a month ago. Are you still? I don't know. Where do you find it? I haven't been able to see it in a while.
Download it on Discord.
It's on Discord. Where is it? Let me look.
Book channel.
Oh, great book. Okay, it's been a while since I got the latest version,
But it's still kind of jumbled. I think it's when you.
so there it's an HTML file now.
I don't
Well, that's what it's. Yeah, it's an HTML file.
Chapter 15.
Oh, cool. You have like AI text read it out too now.
Yeah, I can get a version here.
Damn. All right. Now, okay. Now it's like a lot. You fixed up the chapters a lot better too, compared to like when I saw it last time.
I don't know how much to. I don't think there's that much change. I have I did the chapter 24 is kind of more. There's more to the more to for 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I might need a chapter for North Axis and all the things that happen in 2026 geopolitically. It's
Probably.
probably
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, I would say that's important. You could probably do it while you're playing stuff on your stream about Israel.
Yeah, are you tired of Israel?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
A lot of people are, a lot of Americans are tired of Israel.
All right, okay. Yeah, that's the feeling I was getting as well. But this is not said on media at all. This is not talked about in media.
It was for like
But
a week, I think, but then
yeah,
they moved on.
yeah, yeah. But then it's still the people they're still murmuring, right? So it's kind of like that. Even Israel knows that they would know. And so somebody talked about bringing him to ICC soon, Netanyahu. This just because of this very rupture, things are going to change. So I don't know if you know this, but the very fact that people themselves are kind of banding together towards a direction, that in itself changes the government and how they see people, how they see their chances and their opportunities. So
Mm-hmm.
just know that these might be good signs. It's definitely good signs for the future if nothing happens now, right? So those are the healthy signs inside America. And when Israel isn't considered the greatest ally anymore, they will have to be considered treasoners when they do anything in politics. And that's for the future to be soon.
Yeah.
Because only the image of when you say, well, they're our greatest ally, then, well, you would have friends to be your advisors, right? But if you say, I'm not sure if it's my greatest ally, I think it's somebody I should be a little bit cautious about, then the question would have to hang more in the air when you put things up, right? So what the people think matters. And that's, you can see it, right? So as soon as the sentiment changes, they won't be able to enter politics as freely and easily.
Maybe. I don't know. That's in the future. That's like in a good 20 years before that. I think that really takes effect. 10 to 20.
I don't know. I think changes are now because the next generations don't want to vote for Israel.
Yeah, that's true, but both everyone has pockets lined from Israel, so I don't know.
That's true. That's true. But they're doing horrible in the war, and they're being fought back, and they're being cornered into a corner. And
I wouldn't say they're being cornered. I mean, being cornered would be like, okay, in 10 to 20 years when everyone doesn't like Israel anymore, or everyone who matters doesn't like Israel.
I think I think it's going to go faster than that, though. But maybe yeah,
But yeah, I think,
you're right.
I mean, unless if something happens where they do a false flag again, um, people are not gonna
They will
vote
do
for. Hmm?
many false flags to get the greater Israel. So, and there's going to be so many. I don't think the world can handle all that.
I mean,
Because,
American false flags. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't think Israel really does any false flags. I think they just do it. I mean, I don't even think like they just like taunt. I mean, the whole thing with Palestinians started because I mean, all they do is like poke them with a stick until they get mad enough to attack back, and then they just slap and kill them. So they don't really do false flags. They just do it over there, where they provoke until there's a slap back, and then they hit hard. In America, they do false flags. They'll do false flags because it's not as easy to provoke like they can in Israel, because it's like America doesn't have like Palestinians. America isn't apartheid.
Right.
So like they can't do anything. All they can do is like make Americans mad at Muslims in Iran.
And Mexicans.
I mean, not even like, yeah, okay, sure. But I mean, even Donald Trump is walking back on his illegal foreign thing, where he's like saying, "Oh, we need illegals to work on our farms." So I mean, it doesn't really work out in the end for anything like that. There isn't a group of people in America who would be killing Americans if they could, like there is in Israel. Like, I mean, like, yeah, don't get it wrong, don't get it twisted. Like, Palestinians are being oppressed, but I mean, if they were given the chance, they would definitely kill a lot of Jews.
Yeah, probably.
And I mean, that just isn't a thing in America, and there isn't like a reason for a group of people to be like that in America, like near us. Like even Canada or Mexico, they that would be like, I guess, the Palestinian equivalent, but like they don't really even fit at all. In fact, probably, to be honest, it'd probably be better if America took over Mexico or something to get rid of the gang violence there.
Yeah, see, those the all the that's kind of America's area. That's kind of what they where they have their playing field. To be honest, so Trump isn't wrong about that when it comes to like where should we start? What should we do? Like South America, probably a good place to start to kind of look beyond borders. Iran is a bad investment, but okay, I don't know. They want it done, and you know why they want it done, right? Like it's because they want to break this whole area up because they want leverage there. They don't have enough leverage there. And not only do they not have enough leverage there, the Western alliance is weakening. So they need to break something up. That's what they're doing now, right? Like that's so obvious
Mm-hmm.
that they're breaking things up at the center, around the center, so that they can get a bigger hold. And they're willing to invest a lot into it because we're talking about a little bit of dirt. We're talking about specific knots and ties and things that are kind of like tied together. And by breaking those up, they can get the leverage. At least that's the idea. It's just so very, very, very costly, though. I don't know. What say you?
We're doing it for oil and trade. There's no other reason other than to help Israel.
Well, they wouldn't do it just for trade and oil. I know
Mm,
that.
well, why wouldn't
That
they?
might be the American point of view, but they're thinking more strategic and long term. And so what they're looking at is how do we get the leverage to the point where we get the clearing path? That's what they're thinking about. And by clearing path, they don't mean just get a way out of it. They want to have a new foundation such that the next 30 years, like basically they're building a foundation now for the next 30 years, right? And saying, well, we need this and that leverage, and we need these things ties to be broken. We need these houses to be so and so and so. We need this to be fairly. So when everything is in this and that state, then we have the clear path where we can say, okay, we're going to have this much leverage, they're going to have that much leverage over 10, 20, 30 years. So it's about aiming the long arc, and it's not actually about oil. It's about these, it's about the leverage going into how the geostrategic situation will be going forward.
So that leverage doesn't have any benefits to it other than its leverage.
It is a place where things can expand going forward. So when you have the area there at the Middle East, that's a bridge between East and Africa. And so by splitting China from Africa and splitting Russia, like splitting the East from Africa, they have more leverage just as a whole. Just that whole waterfront,
Mm-hmm.
means America has a secondary place, right? America's position where it is geographically isn't great. Like it's great, but it's not where you want things in order to start the proper fires, in order to get the leverage, in order to wage warfare, in order to get the upper hand in a competitive world. And so it's really about competitiveness at the burning point, at the focus point, at the center.
I see. I think it's still a little. I mean, yeah, that's true, but I think it also is the fact that there is a lot of resources there.
Absolutely, absolutely. These things always play into it. But I would say that's secondary. The first thing is the little things that people don't notice, and these things they had in their mind, right? They wouldn't do it just for oil. They wouldn't do it just for those things. They're looking at it because they're looking at the other gains. Is okay, what do we get when we get on the other side of this, right? What's our position going to be? That's the thing. Position. They're looking to kind of like seed something in, and then when they get to that point, they'll have the position and the greatest angle.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about narrative control on a physical level.
I don't know if narrative control is the right word for it, but yeah.
They certainly have the narrative control. Well, they don't have it right now because Iran is, but think
I think it's just control is the word for it.
right.
Narrative control would be like they're able to like, hey, they're able to control what people think or what's going on. Like like news wise,
That's
like
kind of part, right. That's part of what they want, but they when I say narrative control in a physical way, it means that they want to have more like underneath the floor, like they want to have the leverage beyond the leverage. They want to have the positioning, which gives them the angling. They really want to make sure that they have the highest leverage there in that area, because that's what Israel needs.
mm-hmm.
We're doing it to help Israel get an upper hand in
Yes.
their goals.
Yeah.
Because we believe that it can give more leverage. They can get India, right? They can get a hand into India. They can get a hand into Africa.
They already have a
They can
hand
get
in India.
right, but through those gates and channels, the leverage can be increased further. One of the beautiful things, though, Well, I don't know if it's beautiful or not, but Europe is kind of going ahead of America and making the trade deals. So it seems like it's a very interesting thing with this North Axis, because it does seem like the West and America has kind of stepped in the background while they're still having hubris, and I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that they're gonna do something that's even greater than 9/11, and all the juggling with the money and the all the scams that they do and all these things. All of this is desperate attempts to manipulate markets to increase America's economic position, but they're gonna do it adversely by completely weakening themselves. This could be a dangerous period for America.
Probably. I'm gonna be, well, maybe, but I don't think America's gonna have any chance of really falling apart over this. We're
No, but they will be.
still a
They're
major.
gonna
It would require a lot of stuff. It would probably require the end of the world for America to fully fall, or to even fall. Like, I'm talking full nukes in every city type of deal for America to fall. And that's not going to happen because no one wants to rule over radioactive dust. What's the point? Mhm.
radioactive.
Mm. Well, yeah, there's no point in nuking everything. They're not going to do that.
I don't know
Israel
with
might nuke
America.
everything. Israel might nuke everything.
Yeah, exactly. Always the Samsung option, you know.
If it exists.
The cry bully button.
Who knows? They probably, even if it does exist, someone's gonna disable it, probably. Or it won't even work in the way they wanted it to work. It would just fail. We're probably never gonna get to that point anyways, so it's like, I don't know. Unless, like I said, I think in 10 to 20 years, they're gonna be in trouble because that's probably when the people who really don't like Israel are gonna get into power, and then they're gonna cut a lot of funding.
Right. You say 20, but I'm thinking more like 6 years. But okay, maybe that's also a little bit early. I don't know. It's definitely going. I don't think it's going in the right direction for Israel, but let's see if they can spar their way out of it when all is said and done.
You gotta think about how old the people are in charge. They're gonna be here for another 10 to 20 years. You think they're gonna retire? No.
No, but we still have international law and things like that. There's like things that are kind of catching up with them that I don't know if those things are ever going to disappear. So I don't know. I think we'll see more cracks, and that's. I don't think they're going to have all the leverage in all the directions that they want.
I mean, NATO will probably fall because no one gives a shit about that. If anything, like, I mean, you're talking about international laws, like America
Right.
cares about those, or that Israel
Right.
cares about those, and then they don't. So I mean,
Right, but that's one of the problems that we actually see today. That's why there's a North Axis.
the North.
That's I don't
Mhm.
know if that's good or bad, but because there's no international order now we don't know if there's even a proper Western alliance because there's a North Axis and a Western alliance that are technically the same, but they're people that walk in different directions.
Are you like, when you say North Axis, what does that refer to?
Well, I'm referring to the pivot. They're saying there's a new world order, right, or shift or whatever, led by Mark Carney. right? So they are reducing their spending on U.S. dollars, and they're weakening America.
I don't even know who Mark Carney is. How do you spell?
Minister of
Oh,
Canada.
the Prime Minister of Canada.
Mark Carney.
I don't know. Canada is in a really bad spot. And probably won't exist in 20 years if I had to guess. Also.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? I mean, the housing is super bad. What does Canada doesn't even produce anything except like maple syrup. I'm not joking. Like they don't really have.
Make lumber too.
I mean, okay, they make a lot of lumber, but I mean that they make maple syrup and lumber, but what else? I mean, yeah, so they just don't have a lot of exports and a lot of like money that is being made there. Like that's why there's having a housing crisis right now. That's why their dollar is really fucked up. There's like just a lot of issues over there.
These things are probably changing though. Like I don't think we're gonna see the same kind of. I think what we're seeing are slow spirals towards other things, and so I think we're gonna see bigger moves moving away from America. And I know it seems strange, but I think we're seeing like a new thing form. I think we're seeing Europe and Canada become more, united, and I think that America is eventually going to find themselves a little bit left to the side.
I mean, tomorrow America could go rape Canada and win. I mean, there's not going to be anything with Canada and Europe. I mean, that would be just if they did anything, it wouldn't really matter because at the end of the day, again, it's right next to America, and you can do the math, and it's like, oh, America's army is like about 100 times better probably than the Canadians. So, I mean, like, like, okay, they're in a treaty with Europe, and then something bad happens where Europe is like, hey, Canada, attack America, we'll help. And it's like, no, they're not. It's not going to do anything. I mean, like, even if there's trade stuff that'd be bad for everyone around, it's not going to be beneficial to, like, go, like, okay, let's tariff everything. Like, what Trump is doing right now is pretty much bad for everyone and not just American people and stuff like that. Um, Actually, I think those tariffs are gone now because it was illegal. So I mean, yeah, that's probably not going to happen though with Europe and Canada like becoming a union of sorts, a meaningful union.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to see. Because I don't know. It's forming now, so
What?
we'll see if
Yeah.
because I think what it comes down to actually is probably America themselves. If they're gonna take, if they take too many steps that are wrong, just flat out wrong, right? Then I think we're gonna see more moves towards a strengthening, and then the North Axis will arise, and so I actually kind of foresee the opposite. I see America getting into more problems in a sense. They're gonna lash out more and gonna strengthen the others more. Already now, one of the bigger issues inside America, or the upcoming issues, is that the defense industry is not being invested into. American defense industry is not going to receive any more money going forward. So that's an industry
They just invested billions of dollars into it. I just saw something about that.
Yeah, but was that not only Americans or did Europeans do that?
It doesn't matter because we have the best autistic people in America, like working on making better guns. But like, okay,
it matters whether you invest into it or whether other people do.
I see. I'm just saying, like, okay, if Britain and like invested $1 billion into its military. It's not going to have the same power as America investing $1 billion. You know what I mean?
That's probably true. Yeah,
Like
that's
they
probably
don't
true.
like.
But
There's America is like one of the like America is like what the #1 superpower of the world.
absolutely, yeah.
I mean, like let me see, military spending by country. Let's go to Wikipedia. Yeah, like we're spending 3 times the amount compared to like China, who's so I mean, it's gonna take 35% of global spending is in American army. So realistically, no, they're not. Actually, hold on. For the year 2022, it was like almost 4 times the amount of China. So no, they're not gonna like weaken anytime soon. They're still strongly spending. I mean, everyone can be homeless, and they're still gonna be putting billions and trillions of dollars into America military, and that's not gonna
I,
change. And I mean, we can be like, okay, well, what if they make a Northern Axis, and then it's like, oh no, Canada, which is not even in the top 40, it looks like for military spending is now in an axis with like the Europe. I mean, Europe has some countries like there's still like when you I'm looking at it right now. When you add it up, like all the European countries, it doesn't even probably equal 1/10 of the spending America's spent.
that's true. But do you understand the American economic system?
Yeah, what do you mean? Do I understand it? Like, do I understand that we have like a lot of
You
different
understand how the
we have a lot of different
reserve
exports.
uh, you understand how the reserve currency is made?
Yeah, it's just like monopoly money. They just say we have a lot.
Exactly. So that means that you're relying on the other countries to play along with it.
Yeah, because if they don't, there's going to be a lot of issues for both sides.
No, there's going to be a lot of issues for America
Mm, I,
and the Western Alliance.
mm-hmm. There would be issues for America, but there would be issues for everyone involved. Because again, America is a big exporter of goods too, and it's
I'm
not
sorry,
like
what?
that's gonna disappear overnight. Like, okay, like the Trump tariffs weren't very good, and they did lead to like people trying outsourcing to different places for certain things. But I mean, we're still a big exporter of goods, and we're still gonna be able to make money in some fashion, or at least pretend to make enough money and spend monopoly money on stuff. And
You're
that's
gonna
been happening for probably after the Great Depression, I think. That's probably started since the Great Depression, and it's not slowing down anytime soon.
but I think Americans are missing something regarding the reserve currency and the way that the U.S. dollar works and the people's willingness to depend on it and the willingness to the currency. I think the U.S. dollar is somewhat disappearing, but we haven't seen the last of it yet. So I think that we're gonna be seeing a whole lot of things regarding the U.S. dollar. It's gonna die, uh, or something's gonna happen with it. You know, you want to notice the currency because there's something up with it, and the fact that it's the world currency, world reserve currency, and the fact that nobody wants to buy American bonds, and the fact that all these moves are being made towards other things, is something that's part of the concern, and it's part of the shift that's happening. So I don't know if you could study enough to understand what that does, because that's the thing that you're missing. And so I'm not saying that you're missing anything? I'm saying there's like a whole angle there that you might want to consider that I don't even think Trump considers or anybody else because it's quite complicated, but it matters very, very, very much.
That our reserve currency is going down, or
Well, you see, America's rich and they have a large military because they are the reserve currency, because they're the petrodollar. And it works like this. Every country buys American dollars for not for a discount, but they America gets to print as much money as they want, and then everyone can buy the American dollars. So American actually makes money from people buying their currency that they just make up, right? So think about that. It's like you make a cake out of nothing. Who pays for the cake?
mm-hmm.
So who pays for the cake?
Everyone else, pretty much.
Ah, yeah. So so now you can see the thing that you missed, right?
I
So now
mean,
you know where the money actually comes from.
yeah, okay, but still, I mean, the thing is, it's like at the end of the day,
Well,
if we
you
really
understand
needed
the
to,
relations between America and Europe and Canada now, right?
yeah, but at the well, I mean, Canada doesn't. I'm looking at it right now. It's like Canada doesn't really buy the American dollar; they have their own, and I mean, yeah, there's a few places where it's like Europe places where it's
But they trade oil in American dollars.
okay, I see what you mean. Okay, well, I mean, the thing with that then is like that we're not gonna run out of oil because we're gonna keep invading places with oil and places rich in resources. That's why we invaded Venezuela, and that's why part of the reason we're invading Iran now. And I mean, that's again why America probably isn't going to fail is because they're too militaristic. They have too much money into the military that to even fail. I mean, if we really wanted to, at any point, we can probably just take over a good amount of the countries in the world and be good for probably ever forever. But like, that's too much to do at once, and that's too much to manage at once.
Right.
But I mean,
So you do understand.
that's a very
So then
big.
you understand what they do in Ukraine and Iran.
Yeah, I kind of already I knew that already. It's just
So it's not really. So I was right when I say it's not about oil. Oil is just part of the recipe. Bigger recipe is the world domination.
mm, I mean, not really. It's still it's not world domination per se. It's more staying on top and being staying a superpower. World domination would be okay, America owns everything. There's one nation and it's America. And
Well, that is
that's not the idea, and that it wouldn't ever be
that
the
is
idea because that would mean that America can't be on top because America would be the only one around.
that is America's strategic policy, though. They do want to wage warfare on 6 levels. Not that
Hmm.
there's anything per se wrong with that, but they want world domination. That is their stated goals on 6 levels: naval, air, space.
Hmm.
That's their stated goals. So, in that sense, they do want, and they want to have the East as well, but they can't. They can't do all of that, but they can do some things, and that's what they're trying to do now. Those
Hmm.
some things that they can do. But I get, but I still want to point it back to Europe and Canada, though, that America has a problem that it's in its that it's gonna run into eventually, right? Because regarding cake and making cake out of nothing and people buying into things, that is something that I've seen Canada and Europe is they're not happy about this. They're not happy about the direction. They feel like, okay, all this war for 6 domains of warfare in order to control the world, when really, like what are we gaining? What is all this? And then the allies have to pay for everything. This the biggest travesty is that Americans never, well, they pay for it, but they print so much money, which technically means that America doesn't pay for anything, and it's everyone else that pays for everything. So America gets to do all the things that they want, even if they fuck up or fail or this or that, and every other country has to pay for it with inflation.
No, American citizens definitely do pay for it, and are paying for it.
Right, but so does American allies. So both American taxpayer pays; they are the last ones to pay, and all our allies. So we are all getting fucked. Right, so that's why we all have a vested interest in what does the American government do, even foreigners, at least if they're in the Western Alliance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, because it's everyone's cake. This is what we come to learn, right? When we talked about the cake, that's how the reserve currency is made. It's made like this. We need some cake. We will make cake, and then everybody will come and get a pie, and then they put real money in, real labor, real work, their real currency, right? And they say, I want a pie. Everybody needs a pie. And then America takes all the real currency, and then they buy goods and services from these countries for free for the illusory cake they just made, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see how much did America get versus how much did the Allies get. So, but that is an agreement that the rest of the alliance have been okay with. They have said, it's fine, ever since World War II ended, because we said, yeah, fine, okay, so you can have the military hegemony, and we pay a little bit, and then we know this is an unfairness, right? You make a pretentious cake, and then everybody's like, yeah, okay, fine, here, have your cake. And then you pass the cake out, right? So in that sense, you get to be the superior in that sense, but it is only on the behest that every other country says, yeah, we like this slice of the cake.
Okay, I get that. But again, I don't think it's possible for Canada to ever enter something exclusionary of the US again. Any day, Trump could wake up and say, we're annexing Canada, and there is literally
Absolutely,
nothing.
I do believe that too. Yeah, I do. Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't
100%.
think.
Right now,
Yeah.
right now America is very strong and very, very dangerous. But these things are changing. That's kind of what I'm saying, right? Is that I'm not saying this to like worry you or anything, but I'm saying this hegemony in the U.S. petrodollar is likely going to end, and that might be the biggest problem for America, because can you imagine a cake that can't be baked anymore?
Well, why would it end if the oil's still coming in and we're still acquiring more by doing this? Is whatever we're doing in Iran is probably gonna succeed in whatever goal America has. We'll see.
That's I guess when all is said and done, when all of this war or whatever breaks out and things go to whatever it goes to, then I guess we'll see what the leverage is, and then we'll see. Because if America still got it, and right now they can't even protect the oceans. That's one of the things that they said they was going to do, and so right now it's contested. So America's definitely in hard times right now, probably one of their hardest times. But they're also strong. They're strong, and they're having a really hard time. They have Israel though. They also have the North. They also have Europe and Canada. So they have everyone's. People are with them, but I don't think they should squander it. And I also think they should respect Tim Dooley. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that is part of the recipe. I feel like that's. I don't know. I think you feel me in some sense. That America always owes a tremendous amount of thanks to all their allies and everyone, because it's almost like they get the free ride and nobody minds, right? They get to the Tim Dooley that I created, right? That's what America actually is, right? It's like everyone's Tim Dooley. You see it?
I mean, I don't.
America is the real Tim Dooley.
So what would that make you?
Grandfather of Tim Dooley, right? The blueprint, the original blueprint.
I see. I think I see.
I'm there to show America that they had it all, and to have it all is to will hopefully be grateful and see it, because I think that's what Tim Dooley is trying to say is, look, look at how fun it is to own everything. But it comes with responsibility, and it also comes with, everybody's going to have to look at you. Every single dog is going to have an opinion about whatever you do and whatever your opinion is, right? So this is what Tim Dooley learned, and this is probably also what America learns. So in that sense, Tim Dooley and America is in a similar boat.
Damn, we only spend 3% of our GDP on military.
Only 3?
Yeah, like 3.4 on the Wikipedia. Yeah, I don't. That kind of points to it also probably not gonna fall over anytime soon, even if allies pull out. I'd be terrified as shit if I was any European country.
Allies pulling out is not even necessarily a bad thing, because they're elevating to a higher culture, which means you know about assimilation, right?
Yeah.
Which means America can assimilate, and assimilation means that they can be same like others, which means they're never fully lost, even if they lose their hegemony and the U.S. petrodollars. If that would ever come to pass, they would still be able to assimilate into the rest of the West.
Well, it'd probably be the rest of the West assimilating to the United States if they decided to all like kind of group up outside of the US. Like again, like if I think the day Canada tries to form something exclusionary of the US, they're gonna get annexed and butt raped because like again, Canada is right next to us, and any sane president of the United States would not allow that to happen.
Yeah, but I don't think it's exclusionary. That's the one thing, is that I don't think whatever the North and Europe and Canada is doing is
exclusionary of the U.S.
Yeah, I don't think it's exclusionary of the U.S. either. I think that they are invited, but I think that because of the assimilation, because of the U.S. petrodollar, because of everything flowing to America for a very long time, I think that the other partners, they want to see, well, what happens if things flow a little bit more back and forth? What if it was a little bit more fair?
Well, I mean, again, the thing that's going to stop that is the fact that we're spending only 3% of our GDP on military, and it's still like almost 4 times the amount the second country, which is China, is spending on their military. So, I mean, again, I would be pissing my pants if I was like, I don't know, United Kingdom, and I was like, let's try to make a northern accent. I mean, that would be like poking the bear with America, and yeah, and I mean also they don't even have a unified identity over there. I mean, America, with all its issues, probably has a better unified identity than Canada or any country in Europe has, because I mean, they've been importing so many people from like India and other places, so it's like they're not even
right. But everybody's been doing that, though. I feel like so. It's like whatever.
Everyone's been doing it, but I mean, I still think that there would still be a stronger American identity compared to like a stronger Canadian identity, and that also contributes really greatly, because if like no one like wants to associate with the American identity, then no one's gonna really be able to do anything. But I think there's a lot of people who do associate with the American identity, and I don't think that's the case for any of these other people in these quote unquote Northern Axis of Europe and Canada.
There's definitely a lot of people that identify with the Vikings and North and kind of Tim Dooley axis. I've seen them a lot everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Would that be enough though?
And it's becoming more popular, but and we have seen American culture die a little bit. But that being said, America is the cultural hub of the world. There's absolutely no doubt about it, and always has been. It's like a giant. It's the biggest place on a planet like that. Like you cannot. I mean, the fact that Tim Dooley even has some kind of peak in all of that is a miracle in itself. Or the fact that I'm a blip on that radar is a miracle in itself. But America, I have to say, right, from what the culture that we were all grown up with to like what it is today, it's a horror show, and it's nothing like what it is, and those things are coming to light, and so it's kind of like our culture becoming disillusioned with it. At least I see it. Maybe other people haven't really seen all of that yet, like the full shadow side of things. But that in itself is kind of killing culture, right? Like it's like it just gives people a completely different look on things.
No, it's not killing culture. It's disillusion with the government. That's not the same thing as disillusion with culture. American culture is never gonna.
But these two are different things that are happening simultaneously. I feel like.
Say so. What do you think is happening again simultaneously? Just the North.
Disillusion with the government, but also disillusion with how culture is not just separating, but just kind of disintegrating and becoming multiple things. And with the Trump and Epstein and everything, it's just kind of like a whole mess that makes people flinch in some ways and just kind of like, I want to turn away from it. They don't have anything real right now, but they wanna. Right? There's a whole sentiment, so I can feel that whole energy. There's people that are dying to get away from. Well, not everyone, right? But some people are dying to get away from Christianity. Some people are dying to get away from Israel. Some people are dying to get away from America. Some people are dying to get away from Epstein files and nonsense and just anything. Because it's, but okay, I have my head in it, right? But if people were exposed to more of that, they'll probably be a lot like me and probably want to walk away from that. And so there's a sentiment, but there's no real, there's you're right. There's nothing real yet. But even so, BRICS is being built. The North Axis is being built. These things are being built slowly out. So America is losing something.
BRICS isn't gonna equate to anything. It's like how NATO doesn't equate to any. NATO doesn't equate to anything. BRICS isn't gonna equate to anything. What is a bunch of like shithole countries gonna do? That's like what BRICS is. The only ones that. What is in BRICS? It's like China, Russia.
That's the powerhouse.
BRICS. Let me look who's in BRICS because I know it's basically all the ones in America are like just shithole third countries. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Wow, that's what 1, 2, 3 out of 5 shitholes there. I mean, they're not gonna do anything. It's like NATO. NATO doesn't do anything actually. They say they do. They act like they do. They don't do shit.
It's a defense pact, my dude. They're not supposed to do a whole lot.
Well, what's BRICS supposed to be then? Not a defense pack, or just it's aimed at challenging Western economic dominance? Good luck.
Exactly. Yeah. So BRICS is a bigger. NATO is not a threat to America. Don't worry about that, and it will never be. But BRICS though is a real challenge to America, and BRICS is as you said, it's a economic thing, and so what they're doing is petrodollar. They are trying to get rid of the petrodollar. They're the real enemies of the petrodollar. They're the ones that really want to go against it. The allies, they don't like it, right? Because we are all in the cake together, and we are having to make so much cake, and sometimes it's like cake for who and for what. And so these are the things that every ally has a say in. Otherwise, they could leave, right? So all the allies are thinking about BRICS, but they don't want it. They want the Western Alliance because Western Alliance is pretty cool. They don't like their dreams to be destroyed, you see.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a dream with America. They had a nice dream. But if it doesn't work, then they have to also figure out, well, what else works. So Imagine that. That's the edge that most everybody on the north is standing on. They're not standing there because they want to be against America. They're standing there because they don't know about the direction of anything anymore.
Hmm.
And they're seeing all the movements, right? So it's, I don't know, it's just from outside of America, more things are going on and more thoughts are going on. I hope all of this gives some more insights into it, because then you can actually understand how other people, if they are aware of the situation, right? You could see it's the cake situation that that everyone has a say in.
Yeah, I don't think people. I think you are giving too much credit to people, thinking a lot of more people have a say in it than they actually do.
That's what we found out in 2026, that with the North Axis, is that they actually do have a lot more say than what they think.
Well, how so have they shown that?
Well, when Trump showed up at Greenland, they kind of showed some of their flaws.
Again, I mean, if Trump really wanted Greenland, he would have taken it. He just didn't want to deal with the headache of what that would cause.
Yeah, it would it would be the worst.
It wouldn't be the
Not
it wouldn't be the
no,
worst. It would
yeah,
be like it would be negative. No one wants to take Greenland. No one in America really wants Greenland. It's a little silly. So it would be
yeah,
negative
it's very silly,
reputation. It would be
but
dealing with
I can tell you,
pushback by NATO, and it's just not worth dealing with that right now.
no, it would be the worst. Trust me, it would be the worst investment America has ever done. Um, but the reason for that is not Greenland. The reason for that is the U.S. petrodollar. It would end overnight, which means America would technically be insolvent overnight.
It wouldn't end
Why?
overnight like that, but why would
It
it?
would accelerate its ending very fast. And the reason is because every single nation in Europe and Canada would directly join BRICS on the same day, right? They would alliance with Russia, China, and Australia, and every other alliance member, which means America would not have any friends on that day
Hmm.
going forward, and so it would quite literally be the worst mistake America would have ever done in their entire existence. And I don't say that lightly, right? But Iran is like whatever, South America, whatever. All of those things don't matter, but Greenland does for whatever reason. We found out, but I also said it before America did those mistakes. But the point is that, well, what is the point then? What is the point to mess up with those things?
I don't know. I'd be very weary of America that thinks that it's gonna lose the petrodollar, though. I'd be very weary, and um, I would
That
imagine
is American.
anything gets thrown on the table if that really
I,
becomes the case. I mean, I'm
I, I,
talking
but you
like
can see the problem, right? That America would have nothing overnight, right? That it's like that is America's biggest Achilles heel, and every ally know it. China knows it. Everyone knows it. America is probably the one that knows it the least, and that's kind of scary. That America is so. It's like they don't know their good. I hope they will learn their Achilles heel, because I'm saying it because as a help to America, right, is that they always got to watch their Achilles heel, because that is their only weakness. America doesn't have other, well, okay, they're broken, dilapidated, that's whatever. But America's true only weakness is their currency. That's also their biggest strength. It's actually their entire strength, but it's also then their weakness, right? Because if that's gone, the hegemony is gone overnight. So that is something that should be in the back of the head of every American, and that it depends on how it works, right? Because how does it work? I told the cake. That's how it works. Reserve currency is cake. It's made up cake.
hmm
And people pay for made up cake and call it oil, and say we want some oil from the America. But what they're really saying is we want made up cake. so you can choose whatever direction you want.
I mean,
Does that make sense?
you're also yeah, I mean I guess, but it's just like you're also thinking that okay, the petrol dollar gets lost overnight, that means everything is lost. Like, no, they're gonna have military for a while still. They're not gonna the military isn't gonna just
Right,
disappear.
but that would fizzle out really, really, really fast. It wouldn't. I would probably suspect that America
Uh,
wouldn't have more than 3 or 4 years before it would be absolutely
you
disintegrated.
could
So it
do a
would
lot
be
in
the
3 to 4
biggest.
years.
Yeah, they could make a lot of direct destruction. I agree on that. But then it would be over, right? It would be like kind of like, oh, nice firework. Oh, that's cool. Oh,
I mean, like
like
you can do. I mean, again, also you got to consider the fact we have nukes too, and that we can
yeah,
always say, why don't we
it's
make our
quite
own Samson option? And then it's like, okay.
right.
So
But
I
I
mean,
do think
again, there's
though, I do
like,
think though, I gotta be honest with you and say that if that was, with those scenarios, it would be absolutely over for America. So there would be no doubt about that. But so I don't think they wouldn't do that. I've advised them not to. They often do the things I tell them not to do, but because they want to see, right? Is it really so stupid? Like it could be a good idea because Tim Dooley said it was a bad idea, and he could be tricking us, right? But
hmm
I usually don't, right? I say things because I care about things. So I'm not trying to trick Americans when I say, hey, don't take Greenland. It's not because, oh, bro, it's my ice. It's not. It's more complicated than that. There's friends and stuff. That's a big problem. Oh yeah, and Trump says I don't like NATO, but that's fine. But the problem is that all these things are tied in with the U.S. petroleum hegemony and so on and so on. So in some ways, all these. So yeah, I don't know. I gotta be telling you, man. I think that we're gonna see more moves away from America, from the North Axis, and they want, and in the end, America's gonna have to assimilate into that, and we're gonna see slowly over time the rift. Slowly over time, we're gonna see America's currency totally weaken, and we're gonna see these other currencies strengthen more, and we're gonna see investments flow into Europe, and we're gonna see investment leave America. We're going to see American defense industry do really horrible, and we're going to see European defense industry doing really well. And we should probably expect that to be kind of the trend going forward. So it's just you could probably invest money on this, my friend. But just so you know, the direction of the world. This is what I'm looking at. This is what we are looking at. And then you can think about that. Think about, well, what does that do, right? Because you could see there's a movement away from things. It's not away from American goods and services and people and things like this, but there's a movement away from that dinosaur structure that America has. And that dinosaur structure, I think that is the thing that's kind of, whatever that is, that might come to something down the road.
no, we'll have to see then.
I mean, you're in the military, so you're depending on that dinosaur structure. Like, what do you think of that?
Oh, I think we're gonna rape and pillage until it's stabilized, like what we've always done and like what we'll always do. So I don't think it's probably gonna collapse anytime soon, if ever. I mean, again, it would probably take multiple nukes in America for it to fall, and I don't think that's ever gonna probably happen true too either.
I'm not even scared about those things because I don't think America would even like America. They would be stronger because of those things. I don't think that could take America out. They're like cockroaches. You could put a nuclear bomb on Sammy. She'd still survive. She'd still come out of the rubble.
hmm
You don't understand the survivability of Americans.
What I'm saying is like we would need. I'm saying for America to like assimilate into anything, they would really need multiple nukes in all major cities.
Right. I
It would
see.
need
Yeah.
like a doomsday level event for any chance of that happening again. It's like our military, it's too much. The petrodollar, if it falls, God help any country nearby that has any sort of oil or any sort of something of a resource because we're going to come knocking and probably rape them 5 times over for anything they have, and we'll make up reasons for it like what we've always done, and it's not going to change. In fact, who knows? Maybe
Right.
the petrodollar fell already, like has fallen before, but we pretended like it didn't, and then we raided like Iraq, and then it got back on track, and it was fine again. And I think that's just gonna happen until, um, I don't know. It probably will happen until we completely run out of oil on the planet, which is gonna still take a while.
Well,
Um,
let's see if we can transition into more. I mean, that doesn't look like a great prospect, but I think that's also kind of what America was prospering, that they would have 6 domains of warfare. So I'm not really surprised about that, but I think that we're gonna see simultaneously while that's happening. I think we're gonna see cultural moves towards other things because that's like the base layer of reality. I feel like,
I
and I
think
feel like maybe there's more to life than that.
I think
But I
people
think
are
those
gonna
things
find
will.
out it's not gonna be very fun for them to do that because that's kind of crossing America in a way. And again, it's like, hey, the petrodollar's still theirs, and any shift is probably going to be looked at by the American hegemony, and it's going to be
Yeah.
like, hey, you probably shouldn't do that because we're right here, or hey, I don't like that, don't do that. And it's like they have all the power, and I mean, even if everyone teamed up, they still like let me look. It would literally require, I think, every single country to team up for it to like ever work out like that, and that's simply not going to happen. Because America would simply take the entire like Americas in general, and that would be that, and then there's not much you can do after that, to be honest, too. Um,
Yeah.
like I
But
don't know, they
I think
take
I think
Mexico, they take Canada, and then what? They take South America, and then what's after that? What's really stopping?
but I think I can see why the Western soul and heart and so on is dying. If you take a glance at all of that and take a step back from all of that and ask yourself, why don't people give birth to kids anymore and so on? Just look at the prospect of that. It's like a snake eating its own tail in some ways.
Oh, we'll just import more Mexicans. They don't care, and they're American enough, and they hold the American identity enough for it to count. And they
Yeah.
they vote, so who cares? They don't care. So, and again, yeah, they don't. They're not. They're being replaced with people who still are American in a way.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. It's not like it's gonna just. Yeah, well, it's white people not having babies anymore. It's not minorities. Minorities are definitely still having children.
Right. So the problem is they don't really feel that, these are cultured people, a lot of these, and they want something greater. They're tradesmen and craftsmen and things like that. So, oh,
Well, also there's gonna be a big blue wave, so who knows what's gonna happen in the next, I don't know, 2 years? It's 2 years
yeah,
now. There's gonna be a
that's
big blue wave for our election coming up. The fuck, I forget what it's called. The midterms. Yeah, so I mean anything that happens it's gonna get swatted down because Trump really fucked around and he's gonna find out. Because he basically pissed off every single person. The majority of his voter base is like not happy with him. His approval, let me look at his approval rating. It's low.
yeah, no, it's terrible.
Um and he's
He does not
basically,
pass. He does not pass the smell test.
oh, Trump disapproval highest in both terms, Fox News poll. So this is probably reliable. 62% who disapprove overall, and 64% who specifically said they do not handle his conflict. They don't like the conflict with Iran. There's also high compared to polling from his first term, where his highest disapproval on foreign policy was 56%. Another 42% of respondents said they backed the U.S. military's action in the Middle East, though with lesser share of voters who will say they strongly support it at 20%, compared to 22% who said they somewhat support it compared to the poll. I mean, basically, this is probably inaccurate. It's probably even more people. It's especially since it's Fox, because they
Yeah.
probably only polled conservatives, but it's really bad. Like
Fox
Reuters is saying 36% approval rating. So this guy's gonna get the House and Senate lost, and that means he's not gonna be able to do anything for the next 2 years. That's what that means, like in America. Like, okay, that's the only anti. Like, you have to do a real bad job to fucking have that happen too. By the way, but we'll have to see. Who knows? Maybe he'll get one of them, and it would still be bad, but it wouldn't be as bad.
I mean, just the whole, I kind of told this to Americans. I said, look, this whole America first, it's very much Israel first. They found that out, and even America first, that's also kind of a bad policy, because while it seems good on paper, the idea when you put it together just becomes America isolated, right? America first becomes America isolated.
That's what our founding fathers wanted.
Yeah. America first or
America isolated.
Yeah, okay. All right. They are in a strong position when they have all these leverages and arms, but they can become a very strong nation.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, losing hegemony obviously also means that they become incredibly weak, at least first, right? But it could also become the strongest thing that they've ever done, right? That they become completely their own, like a nation among nations. Right? Without the U.S. petrodollar, then they would be on the same term like everyone else. I'm not saying I want that to happen or not. Probably some people want, some people don't. But if they ever did, right, that's when they would find their true spine. That's when they would find their true. That's what they could say. We stand on our own. Right? We didn't make a pretend cake. We baked our own cake and we made our own everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in a sense, like somebody needs to steer a ship, right? Somebody needs to have. If you want to have leverage and power,